This here is the all-new Fujifilm GFX100RF, and it's got a 100 megapixel medium format sensor. It's compact in a similar form factor as the Fujifilm X100V and the X100VI. It is slightly larger, but it feels fairly similar in the hand. Now on front, we've got this lens cover here, which when you've got it installed, makes it weather resistant, not weatherproof, but weather resistant. When you don't have it on, it's not as weather resistant, and I wouldn't recommend using it in certain weather. Now I'm going to be running throughout this video the different styles that I would shoot with this camera, but also I'll be talking a little bit about some of the others. One of the notable things is you can change the aspect ratio on the back with this dial here. So on the back of the camera, you've got a dial here that you can swap back and forth between different aspect ratios. So for example, you can shoot 5:4, or you can go crazy and shoot 17:6. Now the reason that's important is you can shoot RAW and JPEG at the same time. So you can bake in your Fujifilm simulation where you're shooting your JPEG or your Fujifilm simulation along with shooting RAW, but in the back of the camera you'll just see the creative kind of aspect ratio that you're trying to achieve. So for me, when I'm going around, it's giving me this new creative freedom where I'm walking around the city, especially this new beautiful city, and I get to see it in this new creative way. I've never been this excited about a camera. I get to keep it after this video, but that being said, I'm going to be honest. There are a few things I don't like about the camera, and I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video. So this frame down here, you've got light coming in with the, it looks like a cathedral or a church down the end. And I think with a tram going through there, like there's one coming now, now I'm shooting in both JPEG and in RAW today. The RAW photos on the screen are edited with my presets. There's a link down in the description if you're interested in buying them. $12 will get you a pack of 188 of all the presets I've ever made over time. But I'm also shooting JPEG. The simulation that I'm using, the Fujifilm simulation that I'm using, will be down in the description if you want to know what I'm using as well. For example, if I'm out shooting in JPEG, I can just shoot this, which is 17:6, which gives me this really unique frame. It's almost like it feels almost like an X-Pan style photo. It feels super wide. Of course, it's not using the full sensor, but it's cropping in and it's giving me this really cool, unique frame that I absolutely love. The thing that I'm falling in love with about this camera is that you might think a 100 megapixel street photography camera is overkill. And I actually kind of agree, it is a little bit overkill. But the reality is that this offers me something that I've never had. A compact 100 megapixel street photography camera. And it is compact, it's small, it's lightweight, it's easy to maneuver, it's easy to carry around. You've got essentially, I understand it's fixed lens, but essentially with the crop factor, you can get so many unique frames. And to be honest, I think I'm gonna be using this majority of the time for my street videos because I'm falling in love with it. It's so beautiful. Yes. Oh my goodness. The color's so beautiful. Did you want me to send the photo to you? For free. Not, I'd have to.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure.
Of course, yeah, it'd be nice. What's your name?
Dima.
Dima. Yeah. Sam, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Have a great day.
Same to you.
Bye, Joy. Bye-bye. We might be able to get a shot of this, this guy's hand and the cigarette. So I'm just using this as kind of like a natural frame where people are walking through. I'll be honest, I've never walked around a city and been this naturally inspired. I'm not saying that it's down to the camera, but this camera plus this city it's like a recipe made in heaven, honestly. The beauty of this city, I've never been, firstly, this far east in Europe, but secondly, I've never been to Prague. And I'm starting to wonder why. Why have I never come to this city? There's a nice intersection over here with the light coming through. So we've got one of the older style trams coming along. See if we can get, I think this dude is a good subject. And maybe the driver, if I'm quick enough. So the sun is mostly on the other side, but down here you've got this nice little slither. I'm going to put the camera up to my eye to be able to get the photo. But basically, as people walk through the frame, the shadows at the back of them cast onto the little opening of light on the floor. So there's an entrance to the station over here. The colours look really nice. So I'm waiting for someone to go down into the station, which we've got now. Okay, that's quite a nice frame with the lines. So I've just got to wait for someone basically to walk in to that frame. So as you've seen for most of the video so far, I've been shooting mostly one hand, and that's because I'm recording with my left and shooting with my right, which I want to highlight means that the ergonomics of this camera are really good, because obviously I'm swapping between things like the aspect ratio, I'm playing with the display on the buttons on the back, I'm changing settings all with one hand. So big fan of the ergonomics of this camera. We're going to carry on exploring the city of Prague. We're going to go this way. Just stumbled upon this beautiful market area, but also this way. This is what I mean about Prague. Like, look at this. This is insane. This is so beautiful. So we've got this dude down the end, sitting down, using this as like a natural frame. Probably get down to same level. So, got this beautiful building up here, but there's also a bit of water. There hasn't been any rain, but it's coming from the building work there. So I'm thinking I can get a reflection of this in there. I think actually for this specific shot, it looks better with portrait. Oh my God, so many people, but that's good. It adds to the photo. And if you actually look at how small the puddle is compared to the scene, it definitely pays to have a look around sometimes and see what's around you, see what frames you can use, see what reflections, what shadows. Just have a look around. Just look around you and see what else you can find. Instead of just taking the normal photo of the normal photo here would be like, oh, cool building. That's really cool, let's take a photo. And yeah, that's great, but you're missing out on that creative style. I've just come down into Subway just to get some of the shots of people coming into the station, because the lighting looks really nice going in and out of the station, especially up the escalators and everything. The silhouettes, yeah, really nice. So one of the things I'm curious about with this camera is how it performs in low light, so basically nighttime, and whether or not it will hold up with the noise or not, or whether it'll be super noisy. I haven't tried it yet, I don't know. I think it'll be good. Mostly Fujifilms that I've used in the past have all been pretty good in that regard, so I don't expect the GFX100RF to be any different. I will be releasing that video up and coming in the future, so if you do want to see that, if you do want to see how this camera performs in low light, then feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I do upload. And just a reminder, it's completely free for you to do that, so if you'd like to, it would help me a lot, so please do feel free to subscribe. Maybe like this video, drop a comment as well, as all that stuff does help. So thank you very much. I'm just waiting for someone to enter this bit of light down here basically. It's a nice unintentional photo as I was going up the stairs. I actually didn't mean to click the shutter button then, and as I did, I caught a photo of the guy walking through the natural frame at the top of the escalator just there. So that actually looked really good. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is this front dial. I don't know if it's going to focus, but this front dial here, you can toggle it where it'll crop internally. So if you're shooting JPEGs and you want to get those creative compositions as I was just talking about, you can have it set at 45, 63 or 80, but it doesn't crop the raw image, it just crops the JPEG. So if you're shooting RAW and JPEG, when you get the RAW into Lightroom or wherever you're editing your photos, you're gonna still have that full RAW format. But that's why I shoot JPEG and RAW, because I get both. So in the back of the screen, it's really hard to show you because of the light, but in the back of the screen, it'll give you this outline of a box of what you're gonna get with that crop and with the aspect ratio that you're using. At the same time, you can still see the full raw image that you'll get. So that's been how I've been going around shooting. I'll give you an example of this now. If I get a photo facing that way, so in frame, this is the cropped version with the aspect ratio that I've chosen, and then this is the raw photo from the same one. So this is my process, this is how I'm gonna go about using this camera pretty much for most of my street photography going forwards, because I can't speak highly enough about it. And I know it feels almost obvious. It's a 100 megapixel medium format sensor in a compact system. You can walk around and just pretty much capture as much as you kind of want. And with this new creative aspect ratio thing, I don't know, it's really hard to not oversell it. But unfortunately, that's just how genuinely good this is. So I never want to just show the best bits of a camera. I want to talk about all of the good, the bad, the negative, everything. So that's what I'm going to do now. I want to talk about some of the things I don't like about this camera. Firstly, I think the ergonomics of the camera is fantastic. I love the feel in the hand. I've been using it throughout this video one-handed while I've been holding this camera in my other hand while talking. I haven't had any problems. Not that you're going to have to use one hand, but it's good that you can if you need to. All of the buttons are fairly centered around the right hand side, as you can see over this side, and it makes it kind of easy to get with one hand. That being said, I do feel like there's a few things that could be improved. I feel like the grip is nice, it's got a good grip on it. It could be a little bit deeper. I think if it was a little bit deeper, it'd give me that bit more confidence in holding it. And I mean, I'm talking like maybe an extra couple of mil. It would feel really nice in the hand. Lengthwise, it's fine. It's a great camera. The other thing I don't like is for the price tag of the camera, I thought that this, like the material, would feel a bit nicer. It feels a little bit plasticky, and I'm worried that over time it might wear away. I don't know, that's just how I feel. It doesn't feel as premium as I would expect it to. The top section, so this machined bit at the top, this is all metallic, and it feels nice, it's really nice. And I kind of expected that throughout the whole camera, but we don't have that. The actual leather, I don't know if it's fake leather, I don't know if it's real leather, it just feels like it's gonna peel away at some point, which I'm worried about. I think if you're using it normally, it'll be fine. I use my gear a lot, pretty much every day. So I feel like it's gonna wear down quite quickly, but I'm gonna update this video in 6 months' time and see whether or not there is wear or not. The other thing I don't like is, although this on the front is a creative measure, you can obviously customize it. You can set it to whatever you'd like it to be in the menu system. What I've found already is I'm knocking it. So regardless of what I change that to, I'm gonna knock it. So it needs to be something to change it to that's not going to affect whether or not I knock it. Those are pretty much the only things that I'm a little bit skeptical about when it comes to the camera. The image quality, hands down, incredible. Absolutely love it, and it's everything I've kind of been looking for in a compact street photography style camera, where It feels nice in the hand, especially when you're using two hands. And also it takes incredible photos. I can't get it across. You've seen some of the photos throughout the video. I love it. The other thing as well, which it comes with, well, that mine came with, is this new Fujifilm high quality. I'm doing this because it just, to be honest, it's great, but it just feels like any normal leash, to be honest with you. There's nothing special about it, in my opinion. I think these down the end, these are gonna actually, let me see if I can, I do feel like these are gonna break at some point, these little toggles down the end. They feel a bit cheap, and when you're paying so much and you've got an expensive camera, I don't want to be putting it on cheap, so I think that's maybe something that could definitely be looked at as well, just making this a bit more high quality. Otherwise, I love it. My closing thoughts on the GFX100RF. It's a great camera. If you have the budget to go and buy it, I highly recommend you go and buy it. It will be the best camera that you will have. And the reason I'm saying that is because with the Sony camera that I'm using now, it's great, it's fantastic, it's unbelievable. You can change lenses, of course, you can play around with it. There's something about this that gives you just unbelievable creative freedom. It's light, it's beautiful, it's great. With all that being said, create more, stress less, subscribe, put the notification bell on, and I'll see you in the next one.